Okay, hello to everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, I'm just going to show you how to create this blog page that you see here. My intention for me to create this simple application that is beginner friendly, uh, but we could be able to learn so many different concepts out of this. Uh, and here on my GitHub, you can actually see uh, some of the core concepts that we are going to learn. But maybe I'm going to add, maybe we are going to have so many functions more than this. But we will start creating a simple version of our blog app, which will involve designing the whole page and all the posts that you see here. The second thing that we're going to do first, we're going to make this page dynamical. Uh, as for now, you can see all the categories here, and there are how many categories? There are so many. There are like 8, but I can even filter them out. Let's say I want only technologies. You can able to do that. I want only travel. You can do that, or I can even say I want the posts which concerning about science. Yeah, you can see this as I've said, some simple application, but we have a lot to cover here, or we will cover so many concepts uh, based on these comments that I've made on my GitHub. And one additional thing that I'm going to do also, I'm going to show you how to do something similar like this, kind of like checkpoints for your app. But I will not going to show you how to deploy it. Yeah, but because as I said, I'll show you how to use GitHub, because if let's say later on you want to host it on let's say web hosting and other web hosting services that you can choose from, it become a lot easier for you to do so, since all of your app it's there on GitHub. So it is a lot easier for you to do so. With that said, let not wasting any time and go ahead and get started. So to get started, all I want you guys to do is to go ahead and create npx create react app, and open up Visual Studio Code. You can just open it up from the terminal by saying code dot and hit enter like that. I have already opened, so I'm not gonna do that. And you can go ahead and start your app by again open up the terminal like that and say npm start. So go ahead and do that, and once you do that, and if you guys don't know how to create npx create react app, I suggest you guys to go ahead on Google and search how to create react app, and go ahead into the first link. As you see, I went a little bit fast, yeah, because these are basic steps that every React developer, I believe, that knows this thing here. So your node version has to start from 14 version. Mine, let me show you, in case you're running out of error and something like that, and or maybe you want to follow along with me according to my version that I'm using. I don't think if there is any problem to use any node version that you're using uh, for this project, for this simple project, and we're not going to install a lot of libraries and all of that. I don't think it will have any issue and all of that. So this is the node version that I'm using, and this is how to see what is your node version that you're using. But according to the documentation here, uh, when you're having node version which is starting from 14.00, as you see, and above, it will work. And npm, uh, which is starting from 5.6. To create React app and start running is pretty simple. All you need is these three steps. The very first step, uh, use this command here that I've highlighted like this, and give your project a name. Mine, I give it uh, this name, as you see, blog app YT. Then go ahead into that project as I did here. Uh, then I prefer to use terminal outside like this. So I open up a terminal there and say npm start like that and hit enter. Everything will start up and running as you see there. So let me go ahead here uh, onto my app that I've created. Okay, so once you open up your Visual Studio Code, the very first thing you need to remove everything, all the boilerplates that comes with npx create React app. I think guys knows about that. So and you will only remind with these files here once you're done. So to keep things organized and start creating our project, the very first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to create a pages folder, because maybe later on we might have more than one pages and all of that. And I'm just gonna call that post page. I'm just gonna go ahead and call this post page here to be blog page. Let me call that. So I'm just gonna go ahead here on that folder that I've created and say post page. Yeah, that is the folder. So inside there I have to create a functional component. So I'm just going to say posts pages. It has to start with capital letter since it is functional component. Like that, go ahead and create a CSS file for that. So I'm gonna go ahead and import my CSS here. So since it is on the current directory, and this is how to import it. So post page.css like that. Okay, so let me show you, but before we begin up creating our page, here are my extension. These are my extensions that I've installed, and I recommend you guys to install so that you can able to follow along with me. So Pretcare for formatting the code, as you see, highlighter, tag highlighter. This is extra, it is not necessary, but I recommend you guys to do so. ES7 snippet, I think you know this. These two extension here and these two extension here, and once you're done with that, I think you're fine following along with me. So the very first thing that I'm going to do, I'm just going to mount let me show you my app, which is running on this port here, 3000, as you see. So all I have to do first to import this page that I've created here on my app functional component. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So I'm just gonna say post page like that, and hit enter to auto import it. Now I'm gonna see this post page here. So let us start thinking about our design. So in our design, we have two things here. We have header and we have main, in which all our posts are in. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So go here and click control and hit enter, and click on your mouse. You'll get into that page, or you can go ahead here and navigate like that. It is absolutely up to you. As I've said, let me give it a class name. I call it post page, right? So I have to say post page. Yeah, it doesn't matter how you are going to call it. The big issue is the rememberness. So post page, and here, as I've said, I need to have a header and main. Header and main. Yeah, as I've said here, on the header, we are going to have this title here that you see, and this one. This is just the div. Let me go ahead and do that. So I'm going to start with the header. So in here, I'm just gonna say I do have h1, which I call blog. You can say blog page, it doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and as for now, as you see, it looks ugly. We'll style it later. So I'm just gonna create a div dot. I'm just gonna use emit. So to use emit, you need to use dot, and I have to say selection. Give any name that you find it makes sense to you. Selection. So I call it selection. So in here, I'm gonna have two things. This one, let me give it like h3 and something like that. Let me use h3 for this to see how it will going to look. Select category. That's what I've said there. Select category, and I put comma like that. To get options like this, all you need for simplicity, go ahead on Google and say selection tag, selection tag, HTML. Yeah, and just gonna show you how to use selection very quick here. So as you can see, to use selection tag, it is pretty simple. For them, as you see, they used label. Okay, so I think, and first let us do that because that is the recommended way. So I'm gonna have a label. I'm gonna use label, and they have recommend there. Sorry, click Control Z if you messed up anything. So I'm gonna say label 4. We have to say HTML4, since we are using JSX. HTML. Okay, so for simplicity reason, let me say label and use emit. I think you'll get that suggestion. HTML4 category. Let me call that category, right? And here I'm gonna say select, is always select category, category like this, and go ahead and start create the options. So whatever option that you will, yeah, and option, it has to we have to wrap it inside this select. We don't have to say name like that. All we need is ID, which I call category, category like that, and inside that select, I'm just gonna put all of my options. For now, I'm just gonna hard code it. As you see, I'm just gonna say technology, just to show you that, and you can give a value of that, and say technology as well. Okay, so let us format it with prettier. So as you can see, it is formatted like that. As you can see, this is what we have here, and we have only one option. So I'm gonna go ahead and do another option. So to duplicate this option tag easily, click Shift Alt down arrow. Let me duplicate 2 times, as you see, and here I'm just gonna say science. Let me close. What is this? I don't know. Let's say travel, like that. As you can see, if we'll go ahead right now, we can see this this option here, and you should change the value, but we don't have to do this because we're going to do this on once we start adding functionality and all of that. Yeah, which I think it is going to be interesting. So I think we are done with header. As you can see, can get anything that we want to. Okay, so let us go ahead and start creating our main. So as I've said, inside this main tag here that you see, it is where are going to consist single post. If you are carefully observing, you'll see this thing is kind of repetitive. So we are going to create a component to represent a single post. So for that, I have to go here on my source folder, and I have to create components like this folder. in which all reusable component that I will create, I will going to put here. So since I want to create a post reusable component, let me go ahead. I usually forget to create a folder for it. Let me click Ctrl Z and undo. So every time when you mistake something, click Ctrl Z to undo the changes quickly. So here I'm just gonna say post, just gonna create a, I think this is a folder, right? So post, I like to name them using lowercase, and I recommend you guys to go ahead and do that as well. So it is not necessary for you to do so, but you can go ahead and do that like that. So I have created that component, as you see, and I have to create a CSS file for it. So I'm also going to say post.css like that. Go ahead and import it from here. Let me remove this because it is not necessary. Let me go ahead and import it. But so I'm just gonna say // because it is on the current directory that we are in. So after you have imported, then you can give it a class name here, class name, and this is how I like to style my thing this way. As you can see here, I give this the first div here, the functional component name. So in here we have to import that post like that. Click enter, and if right now we'll go ahead, let me refresh, we'll see this post means everything is mounted correctly. As you see, let us start styling the header. So but before that all we need to do first is to remove default margin and padding that comes with the browser. So I'm gonna remove margin and padding to all tag or all HTML elements. So that's the very first thing you need to do, as you know. So and say box sizing to be border box, so that we get exactly width, no matter if we're going to apply things like padding or borders and all of that, we get the same width. So if you don't know, make sure you do this thing here. It is necessary for you to go ahead and do that. And the very first class that I'm going to create here, okay, I also have to import the app. I have to say app.css like that. So in here, I'm just going to create a container class for every page. Yeah, if you guys don't know about this one is very important. And the size of the container, for now let me show you what I mean here. For now, let me show you what I mean here. So let me go ahead here on my blog page. Let me target this class. I have to call it, I have to say posts page like that. So let me say posts page like that, and let me give a background color, let's say red, yeah, so that we can able to see it. Look how it is. Look how it is appears right now, as you can see. And so we create, as I've said, we are going to create a container class in which we're going to define the width and the height. So we are going to create a container class that will define how our page we want it to cover. And usually we want our page to cover the entire space, yeah, and have a little bit of width. So to go ahead, let me go ahead and say container, and this is what CSS libraries like Bootstrap are using to make their website amazing and responsive. So we're gonna first define our max width and say, and give it like this width, like that, 130 pixels, and give it the height of like of 100 view height, so that it to cover the entire space. For now, you cannot actually see anything unless if I import it here. Let me go ahead and do that. So I want my app to have this class here, container class. You'll notice there is a little bit difference here, right? So let me give this container red color so that you can able to see, I mean light blue color. Let me say background color light blue, so that you can able to see. As you can see, this is how it looks right now, but we want our page to stay at the center. Let me go ahead and do that. To do that, it is pretty quick. It is pretty simple. All you need to do is to say margin and give margin auto. Look how our page looks right now. So you can even give a padding on the left and margin at the top. Let me give a padding of like, let me give it 2 rem, which is equal to 30 pixels. Let me refresh. You can go ahead and remove it if you want. Yeah, it is a matter of preference here, but we don't have to do that for this one. Let me remove those background color. And inside the post page, just gonna use a black color and make my text white. So I'm just gonna say post page. I want my header to be like this, to have background color of black, and the color to be white for the text. Let us go ahead and see. I think now we are fine. Let me give a padding. 2 rem on top of and bottom, and like 0 on left and right. So as you can see, let me put this thing at the center, h1. So I'm just gonna say dot post page header. Let me target my h1 tag and say text align center. Yeah, as you can see, this is how it looks right now. So all that is remaining for now, as you can see, let me give a little gap here and give this thing a padding, so that we'll be finished with this part header. So let me target this class that I've called selection. So you can be specific by saying post page selection like that, and saying I need to display flex. Yeah, because I just want to give some gap of like 2 rem, which is equal to 30 pixels if you're not using rem. So is equal to, just gonna give a 2 rem. As you can see, now we have some little space here, and we have something like that. So I'm just gonna target this selection. I'm going to give a little padding and all of that. So I'm just gonna say dot selection. I'm just gonna target select tag, and I'm just gonna give a padding. Let me give a padding of like 1 rem and 0.4 rem on left and right. Yeah, so it is your option to do whatever thing that you decide to do here. Let me reduce the padding like 0.4, almost like 5 pixels or something like that. It's not that big. You can able to see that we have this awesome design, right? Maybe we could increase the size of our select. So you could go ahead and say dot selection. Inside this class, target the label and increase the font. Let's say font to be like 1.5 rem, which is around like which is around like 20 pixels for those who are not using rem. I think now we are good here, right? All that it is remaining for now is to create. We have to create this post here. So this is our single post page. So we have header, we have category, we have the content, and nothing special there. So inside this single post, we have h1 for the title, right? Let me say first post for now, because we haven't started generating things dynamically and all of that. So we're gonna have what? We're gonna have category. Let me use p tag for that, and I'm just gonna say category. Inside here, let me use the span tag. Let me use span tag, and put whatever category that I want. For now, let me say technology, like that. Let's go ahead and see. Nothing special for now, as you can see. We have to say we need to have content, right? Which I'm just gonna use p tag this as well. P tag. What? I'm not get Emit suggestion. So I'm gonna go ahead and say this is the first post for me, right? Yeah. Okay. So after we have design all of this thing, I think I have to use like h2 or h3. h1 is a lot bigger. Let's try h2. Yeah, for h2 it is absolutely good. So let's go ahead and target this one here. Let me target this one here, this div that I call post, and I give it a background color of any color, or let me give a box shadow so that we can able to see it very well. So I'm just gonna say post. I want it to have a box shadow so that we can style it even better. So I'm just gonna give this box this value here, like 43. You can use any box shadow of your choice, it doesn't matter, but this one is the one that I prefer to use, yeah, because I find it to be very useful. So we want it to have that color, which is black, and I give it like 0.78. As you can see, so you can see it is stuck on. I want to improve this. If you guys will be observing me, what I'm just trying to do is to improve this version here. So I think my app, our app, maybe it is going to be a lot better than this here. Let me give a background color of like a little bit of, let's say, white smoke. We don't want it to be exactly white. Yeah, so that you can see there is a little bit of separation here. So let me give a little bit of padding. let me use 2 RAM on both side. Yeah, as you can see, uh but I want this content to have a little bit of gap here. So and for that, I'm just gonna use flex. So I'm just gonna say df to say display flex. I'm just gonna change the direction to say column. Look how it looks. And let me give a gap of like 1 RAM. What 1 RAM is a lot bigger. Let's say 0.2 RAM. I want to I want this thing to have this color, right? So I'm just gonna target this thing, which I give a span tag here. So I'm just gonna say target a p tag and the one which have the span. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say dot post target p tag and target the span inside it, since it is only one, since there is only one p tag which has the span tag. It is cool for now. We will not gonna have any issue. Let me give a background color of blue, background color of blue, and you can simply going to see it appears like this. Let us give a little bit of padding so that to have a little bit of space inside, and give them a corner border radius and all of that, and we should be fine. So let me give a border radius of like, let me use pixels right now, 8 pixels. We don't want it to be so big. Padding inside of like 4 pixels. Yeah, let us give a little bit of border. I think it is going to appears much better. Border of like 1 pixel solid black. Let us see. Thing is not that bad. Let me change the color to be white. Color white. Yeah, I think now it appears much better than this. Yeah, let me increase this font for my p tag. So I'm just gonna say post target the p tag, and I give a font size of like, let's say 18 pixels, and see how it is. I think now it is a lot better. But we want to generate, let's go ahead here. So this is our page. As I've said, as you have seen, we have header, which consists of 2 things, as you see, the title and the selection category thing, and here the main tag, which consists of posts. So what I'm going to do, You can almost do anything here. Let me show you one thing here. Let me first duplicate this post and see how it is behaving on the browser. As you can see, there is no gap here, and we want to leave a little bit of space between one post and another, right? So let me go ahead and target this main class here. So I'm just gonna go ahead here on my CSS, and I'm just gonna say target post page main class. We can use display flex to do this. So I'm just gonna say df. Let me give a gap of like even 10 pixels, so that they appear on the same line, because I've said display flex. I have to change the direction, right, so that it will behave as it was before. So flex direction, I have to say column. Have a look right now with our design. Our design, I think now it looks a lot better. Right, this is our design. So now we want to start making our data dynamically, which I think it is a long part. We'll start make things dynamically with this one, and then creating this post to be dynamically as well. So let us go ahead and do that. So the very first thing that I'm going to do, so I'm going to create a fakey API so that we can start making our data dynamically. Not like a real API, but a folder which I'm just going to create a API, which I'm going to call it API like that, and I'm going to say db.js just for organization purpose, and I'm just going to say export const. Let me say post data like that. Yeah, because we're going to have so many posts, it has to be an array, and inside we're going to have a single object. So and everything, it has to be unique, so I'm just going to give it ID like 1. So let us start thinking what each post has for now. For now, as you see, our posts have two things. Our post name has a category and the post content. But you can go ahead and do even more than this. Maybe later on we shall add more, but since this project is beginner friendly, we'll just start with these 3 things. Maybe we could add image later on, but for now let us stick with that. So we're gonna have a title, so which will be like first post, and we're gonna have a content, which let's say we're going to say as it is there. This is our first post here on this website. Our first post here on this website, just random thing. Let us try to format with prettier. This is how it looks right now. uh, Highlight it, and to duplicate it easily, click Shift Alt down arrow. You can see how it is easily to duplicate. All you have to do is to change the ID, and it should be fine. uh, like, let's say second post, content. You can do whatever thing that you wish to do, guys. You can, let's say, use lorem to generate random thing. Let's say lorem. What, let me see if I can generate it actually from here. Lorem. What, I don't get any suggestion. Lorem. So go ahead and do it on your own. Again, if you also don't care, or if you don't also don't want to waste your time on that, you can go ahead to my GitHub, uh, and if you don't want to waste your time doing that, you can go ahead here on my GitHub, and copy all this data from this first link. Where is it? You can go ahead and try to go onto the app page here. You can see this post here, so you can easily go ahead, you can easily copy them like this, as you can see, uh, and go ahead and paste it here like this. So leave that comma there like that, and you need to paste them here like that. Make sure they are unique. Give them a separate ID. Let's say even 22, it doesn't matter, uh, but make sure you format them like that, and you give unique ID, as you have said there. Let us start make things dynamically. uh, so let's go ahead here on our app, uh, and let me create a state. So I'm just gonna use a state hook here. I'm just gonna use a state hook to create the state, which will going to consist of all our posts. So I'm just gonna say post, then set posts like that. Let me go ahead and import the user state here like that, and let me do what? Let me import our my DB, which I call the post data, as you can see. And okay, so as I've said, you have to create the use state here. Yeah, because this is a high level component. Yeah, so that because I will not going to use any state management tool for this single page, so it will actually be a lot simple for you to pass them as a probe here. Otherwise, you should use like state management tool uh, so that to make your your data globally, all to make it globally so that you can use anywhere in your application, so that to make your data globally so that you can use anywhere in your app. But as I've said, I I am passing them as a probe to the high level component uh, because as for now uh, I don't have any intention of me using like state management tools, which will make this video complicated. So we're gonna destructure it here like that by saying posts. I think that's how we call it, if I don't mistaken. And here we are going to loop. But let me see first. Yeah, this is how I've called it. Let me click control and click on my mouse so that to so I'm just gonna use those data that I have passed them here. So I'm just gonna say we want to map from here, post.map. We're gonna get posts, right? So we're gonna escape the return keyword by putting those brackets. Uh, Otherwise, you should write return keyword. Let us see for now. Okay, so let us see for now how our things really looks like. You can see we have so many posts here. Let me remove this thing for now. Yeah, now we are getting a post uh, like that, but we didn't make things dynamically yet because we have to pass uh, we have to pass title. It is the one that we're going to change. uh, Also we have to pass a content here, and also we have to pass category. What category? Like that. So since we map from since we have map from our post here, from our post data, since we have map from our post data, as you can see, uh, we can get anything we want. We want title, we want content, we want category. So let us go ahead and do that. So from the single post, I want a title. This is how to do it. Uh, Also, I want content. What? I want post. dot content. Also, I want a post dot category. Let me go ahead on a single post and a structure. From here, and say we need to have a title, or we're going to get a title, we're going to get a content, also we're going to get a category. Now things will start become dynamically. If you guys don't know about that, uh, so if we will change right now here and say category, because we have different category from our data, again we have different title on our data as well. We're gonna get different data from now. So let me go ahead and paste everything needed here. And content, let me write everything that is needed. Yeah, let's go ahead on our browser. Let us refresh. Our style has gone for a moment. uh, let us see what we have on our first DB data. What? Why we don't have category? Didn't we specify? We didn't specify, and that's why it is empty here on our very first post. So we have to specify that. Let's say technology. Tech, technology. Yeah, let me refresh. Yeah, as you can see right now, everything now it is as we have expected. Let us now come into this little bit challenging moment of filtering this stuff here and makes data dynamically.